Hello everyone on YouTube and welcome to a new tutorial. This time I decided to create a remake for a tutorial that has already been posted in YouTube, and that tutorial is like from 2007, and the tutorial was very old and very in low quality, so basically it was very hard to understand this tutorial that I watched in order to create this thing. So actually what this tutorial has taught me is how to create this suspension system for a wheel. Okay, so first let's see how it works. So we have two controllers here. One is the arrows one, and the other one is this circle. So the arrow one is the one that's supposed to control this bone over here, where is the pistons are connected to the chassis of our vehicle, whatever vehicle it will be. Could be jet plane or any other car. So this controller, actually you can move it with the arrows, okay, and you can bring it over here and do the same. And what's beautiful about this suspension, that it really acts like a real suspension in real world. So you can see the spring coil is actually flexing while I'm doing those movements, okay. And now if I will undo this and this and this and will bring it to the normal place, and I will catch this controller and I move it up and down, you can see that this will also should react to any other things that could be along the road, like any bumpers or I don't know, whatever rocks that it will touch will will touch. So basically this is what we are going to learn, and it's not a completed scene with all the vehicle and everything. The main target is of this tutorial is actually to show you how to create this suspension system, while there are probably more things that could be added after that. Okay, so it really depends on you, on your creativity. So let's just start. I will go over file, new scene, and I don't want to save this, it's already been saved. Okay, so from here switch to your foreview. Okay, so it's somewhere here, and if you just put your mouse cursor over this window and tap on the spacebar, it will show you the foreview. Now we need to select the front view, so therefore put your mouse cursor over here and tap the spacebar again to expand this window. So from here what we should do is to go over the polygon tab and create a cylinder. Now scale it like so, okay, and then using your Alt D, okay, those two keys, Alt together with D, duplicate this item and make it larger with your scale. Okay, so now we have two pieces. These are the pieces that are for the pistons of our suspension system. Now I probably want to make this piston much more longer, okay, and as you can see both of them meets in between each other, okay. So now we need to create another cylinder, but with this cylinder this will be the pivot of one of each of these pistons, okay. So we need to rotate it 90 degrees so it will face to us, like so. But I will move it just a little bit in this axis, which is the axis, and from the channel box I will uh, type on the rotate X 90 degrees, so it will be straight. Okay, and we also need to scale it up, so use the scale tool and scale it up. Now you need to look on this piston part, so this one will actually cover most of it, and then we are going to bring this cylinder up over here, just a little bit above the upper piston, and hold down the V key on your keyboard, make sure you are with the move tool, okay, and point to over here. Okay, somehow it doesn't work, so let me make sure that I'm not doing something wrong. Yeah, so I should turn on the caps lock somehow. So you can see that there is a square, and when I holding down the V key, it's turning into circle. So now I know it's functional. And with the middle key on your mouse, click and drag it a little bit to the direction of this piston. So what we actually did is attached the pivot, the center pivot of this cylinder to the center vertices that up on this cylinder. So I will bring it up again so I can show you that from the perspective view. If I will catch this cylinder, you can see that you already know probably that there are vertices over here, and those vertices are like acting like the same like as pivots, okay, for the all object, and therefore we are relying only on this one, the center one vertice. We attach the pivot of this object to the center of this vertices over here, the middle one. So therefore you should create a cylinder that already came with at least one cap, okay? So you can see this if you will switch to the attribute editor of the cylinder. There is one subdivision caps, one, okay? So one, it's enough. This is what we should have on at least on our cylinder, at least one. If we will add more, then we will add many other vertices, okay? So therefore we could probably not make it not place it right in the middle of this cylinder. Okay, so I will undo that, and after that I was explaining this, let's try attach now this cylinder again back to this piston. So hold down the V, and you can see there is the circle here, and I'm using the middle key on my mouse to bring it over here. Okay, you have to make a little bit drag with your mouse in order to bring it over there. Now the only way to see if it's really where we want it to be is maybe to turn on the X-ray. So go over shading and tick the X-ray, then you can see if it's really on the middle of our cylinder. Okay, so you can see this is actually perfect. Now I will switch off the X-ray, and now I'm going to duplicate this cylinder and bring it down over here, and the same thing with this cylinder. We're going to hold down the V and bring it over here. So just look from all sides to see that it's okay. You can also turn on the X-ray and make sure it's really okay. Okay, so now we are good. Now the next thing is to catch um, no, the next thing will be to create another poly cylinder, but this time we are going to scale it like so and make it like so, okay, and bring it down somewhere here, okay, somewhere here. And you can see I'm leaving some area of this piston a little bit outside, so I'm just bringing in this cylinder a little bit inside like so. And we also want to adjust the scale a little bit more, so I will scale it like so and maybe make it something like this. Now we need another one, so now we are going to duplicate this item and with the move tool bring it up to here like this, okay. You need to make a decision if you want it to be very attached to the pivot itself or not. It really depends on you. Also, we need to catch all those parts, the upper parts, and maybe bring them a little bit outside. You can always modify the vertices of this cylinder. Just turn on the X-ray so you can see them better, and maybe bring them, move them a little bit inside back, okay, to here. Now tap on F8 to bring it to object mode, shading, X-ray, and now we are good to continue. First, let's catch all those parts together, and what we need to do, no, first, sorry, catch this part, and when you're sure that everything is really at the center, okay, catch this upper piston part and shift select this pivot, okay, and tap on the P letter on your keyboard in order to parent them. So now if we select this pivot cylinder, we also selected this one, okay, so this is mother and this is the child, and we also want to do this to this part so it will stay connected as one unit. So we are selecting this and then the mother again and P in order to parent. You can also parent from the general tab, and here is the parent, okay, these are the group, and this is group, ungroup, and this is parent and unparent, okay. Now if I will catch the mother, you can see I select them all, but if I will select each individually, so they will act like separated parts. So we need to catch the mother when we want to move all the units together, okay. Now we are going to do the same here, and shift select this first, okay, first the piston, shift select the pivot, P for parenting, again this, shift select the pivot and parent. Alright, so from here what you should do is catch the pivot, okay, the upper pivot, go over modify and freeze transformation. Also catch the pivot one, the bottom one, and go over edit and modify and freeze transformation, and that's okay. So now what we want to do is we want to make this part and this part follow each other, okay. So when we move this part, this will follow it, okay, but we want the pivots to stay at the same position. Like when we move this, this pivot will actually act like a pivot, so it won't move together with this unit. It just spin around this pivot of this piston, okay. So in order to do this, what you should do is catch this one first, shift select this pivot, change your menu to animation, and from the animation menu up here, go over constraint, and where it says aim, click on this little box over here. Alright? And first of all, make sure you go over edit and reset settings. Okay? So this is how Maya give you the aim box with default setting. Now we need to change the aim vector. Okay, so we need to change the aim vector to position it to in the y direction. Okay, so we need to raise the x one. Okay, this is the x, y, and z. We need to put this on 0 and to change the y axis into +1 and click add. Alright, and now we are going to do the same but at the opposite direction. We need to catch first this one and then this one, go over the constraint and choose the aim little box, and this time instead of making it positive y, positive 1 y for the y, we will do it a negative 1. Okay, so and add. Okay, also in both cases make sure that the constraint axis set to all. Okay, and the maintain is offset. Okay, this is the default, so should be like this. Just make sure it's the same and add. And now if we will catch only this part and move it, you can see what we have been created right now. Okay, this is what we actually wanted to do, and that works fine. You can see when I'm even push it, when I even push it up and down, it still reacts to this piston. Also for this one, if we will move it, because we constrained aim in negative, now this one will be the leading one. Okay, so I'm undo this, and now we want to create the spring coil. Okay, we need a spring coil in between those pistons. So you can go over create and go over polygons primitive and choose the helix. Okay, so if you choose the helix, also you can see that when I'm using polygons primitive, I unticked the interactive creation. I'm not using the interactive creation, so every time I choose one of those shapes, one click and they are appearing in the scene. So this is why I ain't using the interactive creation. And it's also when it's created, it's centered to this axis, so it's very helpful for when you want to make things in the same position, like centered. Okay, now our helix is a little bit right now is very small and we need to enlarge it or something, so we will go over the channel box attributes, and because it's already selected, you can go over to the outliner and just to select it from here if it's easy hard for you to catch it. Like if you lost it now and you want to catch it, you can use the outliner and go over the under the input for this helix. There is the polyhelix tab over here, and if you click on it, you will get some things, some controllers for it. You can also access these controllers from the attribute editor, but it's easy to use them from here. Now I'm going to add some more coils but maybe first I will just use the width or the radius in order to make it bigger. So click on the radius, and with your middle mouse key, which is the wheel, okay, click on the work area and drag it from right to left. So you can see it's really make it big, and maybe with the width I will try to reduce the width size, but this is ain't going to the right place where I want it to be, so I will undo this, and first of all I will use the scale tool in order to scale it like so, and then I will go with this approach with in order to make it so it will fit my pistons with, okay, and then the radius. Alright, okay, so now we can again scale it so it will fit this both um, those both pieces that should squeeze this spring coil. So I'm trying to adjust the size of it so this spring will in some way sit on this piece. Okay, so sorry for the very laggy English of mine, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to do. Now you have another parameter here which is coils. So if you click on it and again click your middle mouse key on the work area and drag it from left to right, you can add more coils to this. So if we want to make something very fancy, like very fancy spring coil, just add more coils and then go over the height and stretch it. Now we need to use the move tool right now in order to place it somewhere in between those two pieces, this one and this one. So now if I will bring it somewhere here, okay, so this tail is in some way a little bit inside this piece and this one is also, and then I will go to the height of this sprinkle and maybe reduce it a little bit so then it will fit the same size in between them. Alright, so maybe a little bit more higher, just a little bit, not much, okay, and we can also maybe adjust by the way, after you parent them doesn't mean you can't move them. They will stay parent, but you can move them and adjust where you want to put them. So I can still do some modification to it and adjust it so it will fit what I need, and that's okay. Now our spring coil need to be duplicated, but we need to duplicate spatial. There is two like there are two kind of duplicating methods. There is the regular duplicating method, and there is the duplicate spatial. And the spatial means that you are duplicating the same item with the same attributes and everything that comes with it. And the regular duplicating method is actually just duplicate the shape without any changes that have been made to it. Also, you won't be able to make some changes like coils or heights or width after you duplicated an item, and I'll show you this in order to understand. Let's say I'm going to duplicate this item with Alt D, okay? So now I have this item, but you can see I don't have any node here in order to adjust the height, the coils, or anything else. So therefore this piece right now is useless for me, so I will delete it. Now this is the original one. Always when you are duplicating something, um, the duplicated item will be the new item that we duplicated will be the highlighted one. So always when you duplicate the highlighted one is the new one. Okay. Now if we will go over edit, you can find it duplicate special here. So if you click on this box over here and open it, you need to choose duplicate input graph in order to get those all height and coils parameters that attach to this shape. So make sure you duplicated checked the duplicated input graph. Okay. Also you can reset this tool and then do this. Okay, and then duplicate special. So now the highlighted one is the new one, but you can see it still have the same parameters. Now the only thing we need to do from here is actually to catch the height and squeeze this until all those coils will attach together, but make sure it doesn't overlapping itself. Okay, I will try to zoom in so you can see it better. And yeah, somewhere here it's pretty much okay. It's nothing that the eye can't our eyes can see, okay, from far away or whatever. You can maybe adjust it by 1.5, maybe it will sit better. Now 4 it's okay. I think 4 it's okay. 1.4. Alright, now the next thing is a little bit tricky, because what we need to do here is catch this one, this helix, and bring it down a little bit over here so you can see the tail, the bottom tail of this spring. Now we're going to modify the pivot for this coil. So in order to do this, you need to hold down the D key. Okay, so you will get the pivot axis, and with your mouse bring this somewhere over the tail. Okay, now somewhere over the tail, and you can see that I'm trying to positioning the pivot in the vertices, not here, here. Okay, so you need to do the same, but you need to do this by holding down the D, still holding down the D, and the same time hold down the V key so you can snap it to this vertex like this. And you can see that the pivot is attached to this vertex point over here. And the last thing is to bring this spring down here and make sure that this pivot is snapped to the same vertex point for this spring. Okay, so hold down the V and make sure you put it like so. Okay, so you can see that we're not really seeing the pivot because I didn't notice earlier that this part is like hiding inside, so you can maybe adjust a little bit the height or anything else, but make sure after you do so, again freeze the transformation. Okay, just go over modify and freeze the transformation so all the parameters here will reset itself. Actually, for any of those pieces we also move this one, so make sure you freeze the transformation again for this piece. And also for this one, as I remember, modify freeze transformation. Now this will be the last thing that we are going to do, and what we're actually going to do, we are going to blend those two springs together into one shape. So in order to do this, what you need to do is catch this one, okay, this spring, go over modify freeze transformation, okay, and go over reset transformation after this, and do the same to this spring, go over modify freeze transformation first, and then modify reset transformation. Now catch the upper spring, shift select this spring, and from our animation tab again menu, okay, go over create deformers, and where it says blend shape, click on this little box over here, and we are going to name it as spring. I'm not sure this is how you spell it, so excuse me. Yes, and do create. Okay, now before I will click the create, look over here and see what will happen right now. Okay, so there's two new nodes appears here, the spring and the tweak. Okay, and from here what we should do is actually catch this spring, delete it, and grab this one, and as you can see we have a spring over here. Okay, so this is the node that we created, the blend shape. If you will click on it and sorry, and open it, there are two parameters over here that we can change, but we are going to focus only on the P helix, the polygon helix 1, and it's set to 0. Now if you will set it to 1, then it will open as the upper spring that we just deleted. Okay, so this is the blending that we made. Okay, we create one node, one shape, one helix shape that contain both of the springs that we add earlier in the scene. It's like a combined blend shape. Okay, and we can control it. Okay, so this is the unique thing about it. So from here, I hope you enjoy this part, and it was easy as always. I'm trying to do my best over here, so you can always leave a comment. And also I want to thank to this person who taught me to how to do this. There was plenty of good comments on this channel and about this tutorial, and the only reason truly I made this one is only because no one did try to improve this tutorial of him, and this is the main reason. So thanks for this guy, his name is Steven, so thanks Steven, and we will see you at the second part. Bye for now and have a nice day. Oh, also every part we do, don't forget to save this. Okay, so to save as and give it a name or something. Okay, so I will call it Springer. Okay, Springer, and save as. Okay, see you, bye.